Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, the Chairperson and Managing Director of the company. Ms. Shaw, thanks so much for joining in. First up, take us through the highlights of the third quarter. It's been very strong growth all around.
As you can see, we've had a very, very robust growth, and all our businesses have delivered very strong growth. Particularly contributing to this strong set of numbers is our biologics business. The biologics business basically has more than doubled year on year, and basically this is a high margin business which has also delivered a 30% EBIT margin, which is why you are seeing the kind of robust performance this quarter. The biologics business has grown 136% from 190 crores last quarter to 449 crores this quarter. And on a year-to-date basis, it has grown 101% from 529 to 1066 this quarter. Other businesses have also grown extremely well. Our historic APIs and small molecules business, which is now being bolstered by the generics business, also has delivered 27% quarter-on-quarter growth in terms of FY18 and FY19, and on a year-to-date basis also has delivered 20% growth. So if you look at it, I think, we've seen a very robust performance. Yesterday you heard about the research services business also delivering a strong set of numbers, 20% growth quarter on quarter. And, if you look at it even in terms of a year-to-date growth, it's 27%. So I think this is why you are seeing a very strong set of numbers this quarter. It is an inflection point because, as you know, we have now seen approval of 3 of our biosimilars in the European market. We have also seen our certain key emerging markets also do extremely well in terms of our biosimilars. So this is a momentum we expect to be sustained in the coming years, and especially we expect to end the year in FY19 on a strong note. Q4 is going to see the entry of our biosimilar trastuzumab in Europe. So that's really the analysis of why you are seeing such a good set of numbers this quarter.
Well, that's good to know. But could you also offer us some color on Fulphila ramp up in the United States, and also some guidance post the recent launch by Coherus? It's a new entrant in the Neulasta market, of course, which is Coherus. How will you look at gaining further market share from the current levels, and are you looking to tap into the hospital markets as well?
As you know, Mylan is our marketing and commercialization partner in the US. I think they've done a very good job of starting this whole market for biosimilar pegfilgrastim in the US, and they've met with good initial success. Mylan is a very aggressive and very knowledgeable partner to have in terms of these developed markets in both US and Europe. And I think they have factored competition for sure, and I'm sure that they will be in a position to look at all avenues and channels of growth. And it is not for me to really comment on the strategy, but I think this is more for Mylan to comment in terms of how they will basically look at these market opportunities. But suffice to say that, Mylan is a very knowledgeable commercialization partner for these markets.
Timelines for launching biosimilars pegfilgrastim and trastuzumab in the European Union?
I think it's not right for me to really comment on it, but like I said, we will enter the European market with biosimilar trastuzumab this quarter, and I think that's going to be a big opportunity for both Mylan and Biocon, and I hope that that's also going to contribute to our near-term growth as well. And then, of course, when the US market opens for biosimilar trastuzumab, as you know, we've already received approval. There is already a settlement that has been entered into by Roche. So I think that also, once it enters the market, will offer us even greater incremental growth for biosimilar trastuzumab.
Can you help us with some kind of an indication with regard to your biosimilar Humira and biosimilar insulin glargine launches in the European zone?
Again, I don't want to provide any optics on that because I think Mylan is in a better position to comment on that. We've just launched our biosimilar Semglee in Europe, and I think these are early days yet. I think we had to work out there is a strategy being worked out to garner market share. As far as adalimumab is concerned, I think that is for Mylan to comment on because it is an in-licensed product from Japan, and I think they are in a position to comment on how they anticipate growth opportunities in the markets that they operate in.
All right. Let's talk about the margins meantime. What led to the momentum over there, especially in the biologic segment?
Well, we have always basically provided some optics on this business. We have always guided for the fact that the biosimilars business is going to be a high margin growth opportunity for Biocon, and that's what it has panned out. I think for the near term, certainly we will see some good margin growth for these products that we have developed with partnerships, both with Mylan and for the next wave of biosimilars with Sandoz. So I think this is the kind of business opportunity that Biocon has addressed, and I think what you're seeing today is a validation of our hypothesis, which was really about investing in a business that would deliver high margin growth in a sustainable way.
Okay, and what about the performance of the branded formulation segments? How did that pan out?
Well, this quarter it had a very robust performance. We've seen a 36% growth year on year. However, it was helped by a channel stocking that happened in UAE this quarter, and therefore we are guiding that going forward you are not likely to see such high levels of growth, but more like mid-teen growth. So even at a mid-teen level we are going to see good growth, and we are, as you know, focusing on being a specialty pharma company, and therefore we are likely to drive margin sales. We are likely to drive a better sort of realization of our market share by focusing on specialty segments. This quarter is also an important quarter because our biosimilar trastuzumab under the brand name Canhera was approved in the UAE. So going forward, even those sales are going to reflect and contribute to growth.
Could you also leave us with some kind of an guidance with regard to the R&D that you're carrying out for FY19 as well as FY20?
So I think if you look at the R&D spends, yes, we have increased our R&D expenses in terms of what is reflected in the P&L. It has increased from 53 to 77 crores this quarter, and from 165 to 198 crores on a year-to-date basis. However, yes, because R&D is very aligned to regulatory development, I think you are likely to see lumpiness in terms of R&D spends, and I think the guidance we can give you is that going forward, given all the new programs that we are developing, next year is also likely to see R&D spends hovering around the 400-500 crore levels.
Okay,
at a gross level.
To talk about individual items in the P&L account, what were other expenses on the higher side this quarter, and would this continue going forward?
The other expenses has many components. There is also the forex loss. There is also other expenses relating to some of our operational parts of our businesses. But there is one component which is also a profit share that we have with our partners, like Mylan, where we are marketing products and have a profit share to contribute to our partners. And that number is also reflective of the profit share that we have remitted to some of our partners.
You know, you have spoken about value unlocking, IPO, PE investors. All of these buzzwords were in your conference call. Could you throw some more light on that?
As you know, the biosimilar biologics business is a very capital intensive business. It's a very investment intensive business, and we do need to make sure that we are able to raise the kind of capital to handle a large portfolio of products for development. And given the compulsions and the integral nature of this business, I think we need to look at a capital raise, and we will look at various options, which I think is what our CFO alluded to. One being maybe an equity investment. We may look at an IPO opportunity. So at this point in time, we haven't really honed in on exactly what we want to do. But I think it is very clear that the kind of business we have requires capital injection, and obviously debt is not the way we would prefer to do that.
Thanks, Ms. Shaw, for joining us and helping us understand the various nuances and details of what transpired and what is the way forward for Biocon.